So you can admit it. You were not liking this movie halfway through yesterday, were you?
Nope, I wasn't.
No. So we saw this in two parts. I'm sure you're wondering, if you're tuning in, what movie we're talking about, but I'm not going to tell you. Yes, I am. It was. Have we seen any other of William Friedkin's movies?
No.
I have. You haven't.
I have not. Yeah, that's correct.
Well, William Friedkin, a very famous director who also did The French Connection, Jaws. Just kidding, that was Steven Spielberg. This was 1977's Sorcerer.
He also did The Exorcist.
The Exorcist, yes, very humongo movie. And I can see what, like, he seems to have like a... I'm going to make a statement here, and you haven't seen any of his other movies, but I think after you see them, you'll agree. I think you'll see where I draw from. Maybe not necessarily agree, but he seems to have a real attraction to grit and dirt and sparse around, like poverty. Because, like in The French Connection, it was shot all over New York. Mm-hmm. During the 70s or the late 60s, when there was a heroin epidemic.
Okay.
And so much of New York was just kind of bombed out buildings, and it almost looked like after the bombing of Dresden, like the buildings were empty, but there was just rubble everywhere and grit, and the sidewalks just had junk all over them. Okay. And that's how, not every scene, but a lot of scenes in what's the movie I just said? French Connection. In fact, there was an online comparison of, I may have told you about this, comparison of sets from that movie, mm-hmm. Not settings, I should say, of that movie then and now. And at the beginning, Gene Hackman, I think it is Roy Scheider who's in that too. They're two cops, and they're chasing down this low level drug dealer, mm-hmm. and they chase him through this. It's in New York, but it's like a bombed out field. There was a building there, and now it's just rubble and garbage. And it's in the late 60s, early 70s, so it has this grainy, gritty look to it. But now there is a full hospital complex there, and it's interesting to look at these old movies and see a comparison from what this particular place looked like then and what it looked like now. Mm-hmm. The Sorcerer was, you're gonna have to help me out a little bit here, was adapted, right? It was adapted twice. Yep.
It's based on a book, and the book is called, I just had it, The Wages of Fear, or is that the movie before?
I think The Wages of Fear was, but there was a book too, wasn't there? Or there was something else in French.
Yeah,
see if it's in
yeah, okay, so
I'm gonna butcher it here if I can find it.
I thought I had it, but yeah, I think.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Film is the second adaptation. The first must have been The Wages of Fear. Okay. And the film is the second adaptation of Georges Arnaud's 1950 French novel. Give me a little grace here. Salaire de La Peur. And I'm wondering if that is The Wages of Fear. Friedkin's intention was not to create a direct remake, but to use the basic outline with completely original protagonists, aiming for a grittier, which he always does a good job in achieving, documentary feel. I don't know if I'd say this felt like a documentary. I mean, maybe kind of like those scenes with the rebellion at the oil field. You know what I'm talking about? The parts that you didn't like where all the people were getting smacked around.
Yeah.
So, how to give an overview of this. It starts off with what they call 4 vignettes to give background to the four characters in this movie. The first one is a hitman who dispatches somebody in a sort of a contemporary motel, just in his room. And then, who's the next? The next one is the guy who masquerades with his buddies as a Jewish, just a Jewish person, but he's actually part of the Lebanese. What do you call that?
Oh, here
The
we go, here we go.
PLO, I guess the PLO. They pretend to be Jewish and they bomb a historic site in Jerusalem. And a couple of the guys get dispatched by the Israeli Defense Force, and one guy gets caught, but the person who does not get caught ends up playing a key role in this movie. And then you want to tell about the other two?
Okay, so the third vignette, if you will, is a husband and wife. We meet and they're in their apartment, and the husband.
They're in France.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
They're talking.
What is the role of the?
He's an investment banker, I
Thank
think, and he's. At least that's what the Wikipedia says. He was an investment banker, but it makes out that he has some kind of business with his brother-in-law. And when they open on this guy with his wife, they're in their apartment, and you know how people always make the joke that the French don't do anything; they just kind of like lay around. It's the middle of a working day, and he's chilling in the apartment. The wife is working on her book in the bedroom.
Spread out all over the bed.
Yeah. And she gives him a watch, which it's a nice watch, and it's engraved with something to him to commemorate their 10 years together. And then we find out that he has misrepresented the status of his company to the French or the Parisian Stock Exchange.
Yep.
And they have falsified collateral, because you have to have collateral to post and say your company is worth X amount of dollars. And they're like, we're going to put you in prison. He's like, I will prove that we have collateral. Give me one day. So he goes to his brother-in-law and he's like, call your dad, get us some money that we can put up and say this is the collateral to legitimize our stake for the stock exchange. And the brother-in-law is like, no, he's not going to help us. We're kind of fucked. And he rides him a little bit. And this is like a big deal. You know that, like, they said this is going to be jail time if you don't come up with this in one day.
Very serious.
And what's funny is he berates his brother, and then he goes to dinner with his wife and a friend of hers.
Yep.
They're at this nice,
fancy
restaurant eating.
Yep.
And the maitre d' comes over and says, hey, your brother, you got somebody here. And it's the brother-in-law. He's like, yeah, I talked to Dad. He's not helping us.
No.
Dad said no. And he's like, call him again. It's like, he's going to say no again. He's like, just do it. Just go in there and do it. We got to come up with money tomorrow. I'm going to go back and enjoy my steak tartare. And brother-in-law ends up killing himself.
He's like, I can't help. I did what I can.
He's like, and now I don't want to go to prison, so I'm going to eat a bullet. So yeah, it's what's our guy's name? The French guy's name?
Victor.
Marceau or Marcel or something like that. Victor Marcel.
Just Victor Manzon.
Manzon. So Victor, like, without even going to say goodbye to his wife, he just starts running. And he just skips Paris entirely. And then we go to Jackie Scanlon. You want to give us the background of that? That's in... we should also point out all of these characters, they're all in different parts of the world.
Yes.
So the first We'll just give the quick overview.
Veracruz.
Veracruz was the first guy.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
in the beginning of the movie. Yeah,
he was in Mexico or something, and Victor was in Paris, and then we get to Jackie. They're in Elizabethtown, New Jersey. You want to give us the background on that?
Yep. So we're in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and an Irish gang robs a Catholic church. They're connected to the Italian mafia, and they are organizing a bingo game and, cashing in on the money that game makes. It's supposed to be for the church, the Catholic church, but again, a group of Irish American gangsters come in and
try to heist it.
Try to take it. So they get into a heated argument with Jackie Scanlon, and
No. One of the mobsters shoots one of the priests, or the guy posing as a priest, who's.
Oh, that is right.
Who's the brother of a big deal mafioso.
Yep.
And the mafioso is
brother of Carlo Ricci.
Yeah, and Carlo Ricci's the baddie.
Yeah.
And Ricci's of course pissed, and it's funny, they have his lieutenants go to Ricci at some point in the movie and just say, hey, here's what happened. And, the camera locks in on his dead eyes, and he's like, I will scour the earth for this guy. We're going to find him. But Scanlon goes to his buddy, and I think I'm at his friend Vinny.
Mm-hmm. His friend Vinny, yeah.
That sends him down to the port and says, we have a guy down there who's going to take you away. He's like, where am I going? And I don't know.
Yep. So, all these, should I keep going?
No, I think we got all four, right?
Yeah, I mean, should I keep going after that?
Yeah.
So all four of these, I don't know, what do you want to call them, people?
Oh, they are people, in fact.
I mean, but yeah, I don't know if you want to be more
misanthropes, if you will. One guy's a terrorist, one guy's a mobster, one guy's a hitman, another guy is a fraudster investment banker.
They all assume fake identities and end up in...
I think they make up the name of the place that they go to.
Yeah, and I can't quite say it, so I'm just going to try it. Porvenir?
Yeah.
A remote village somewhere in Central Africa, goodness gracious, sorry, in Central America. And the conditions are very different than what their lives were previously.
Just kind of... Friedkin's great at this, you would think that they're like in a French penal colony or something, because they're in this ramshackle building with bunk beds that are basically consist of stuffed burlap bags for mattresses, water out of a pipe in the wall to fill up a basin to wash her face.
Dirty water, dirty water.
Just filthy conditions. And it turns out these are kind of like flop houses for this little town, and the town, the really only employment there is through an American oil company. These people they're either subsistence living, or they work for the oil company. And our four guys are just kind of eking out a meager existence being down there, and I think they're partially employed by the oil company, and they do other little menial jobs. But Friedkin is like, he crams a lot of story into 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, this is where I'm a little torn. Like, do we want to talk about how because leading up to the first half of the movie is these vignettes, and then telling what happens all right, I'll just give you without going through our notebook, LM, there is a, we should tell about that one, the one guy who was assumed Nazi, who became friends with Qasim, which is the Palestinian terrorist who escaped. Mm-hmm. They become buddies, kind of, and then what happens with the oil field? There's some kind of there's a blowout, and the well catches fire, and they can't employ anybody because they got this fire raging.
Yep.
And so the people who are employed by the oil company, these peasants, like go berserk. They're like, we have any money, we don't have shit without this oil company, and they start revolting. Mm-hmm. And there's just there's like an upheaval kind of. They send in kind of like I don't know if it's a security force or if they work for the oil company or if they work for this corrupt government to try and appease this little village, and there's just a big fight. People are killed, and it's kind of rough. That was we kind of turned the movie off at that point just to like get our bearings and finish the evening. But like it was kind of at that point you were like, what the hell did you make me watch? What is this? Because it was rough.
It was,
especially for a movie in the 70s. I think that was the thing, is this came out like right on the heels of Star Wars, and it had a hard time getting marketed. Didn't make its budget back.
It did not.
And I think part of the reason was Friedkin renamed it. He was kind of obscure about it because...
Yeah, that was really interesting in the research, I thought. Go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt, no, just the title of his movie is called Sorcerer, and...
We haven't gotten to the part as to why he named it that in the story.
Yeah, true. But even so, before that, I would say, I don't know. I mean, when you see the word sorcerer, what do you think? Do you think that it's going to be a movie about witchcraft and wizardry, or do you think it's going to be a movie about, I don't know,
pseudo-criminals who skip off and leave their old life?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, escape. I don't think that the title, the word, doesn't lend itself to the movie.
Doesn't lend itself to the story.
And not at all.
A lot of people went to it and was like, this has nothing to do with anything. We don't even know why they named it this. And people were kind of disappointed. And word of mouth was such a big deal about moving a movie back then. I mean, it even is now, but it did not hit its target market.
Nope.
Like at all. And so it died on the vine, and then with Star Wars coming out right at the same time, it just buried this movie. But it is now gaining a resurgence through the internet. People are talking because it is one of Friedkin's, it was his favorite movie to shoot, even though it took him on the outset of about 10 months. Mm-hmm. And he loved doing it. And I've seen a lot of things online of people who have seen this and be like, this movie is incredible. And we watched the rest of it today, and I feel pretty confident in saying you had kind of a change of heart. At least it became like a real nail biter.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Right.
So, anyway, back to our plot. So, there's this blowout at this well, and it's on fire, and the inhabitants or the workers around the well revolt, and it's a giant mess. And the oil company is like, they send a couple of guys out to this remote depot, because typically when there's a rig that's on fire, they have to use dynamite and send it in on like wheelbarrows, people pushing wheelbarrows with long staffs or something to get it close to the fire, so when it ignites and explodes, it blows out the blowout. It blows out the fire, and it robs it of oxygen for a second, so it just becomes a well spitting oil, and then they can cap it. But there's a scene where these guys go out to this depot. It's just like a shed out in the woods, and they start picking up the cases of dynamite, and when they're opening it,
They're realizing it's been sitting there for so long.
Yeah, it's dynamite is it has nitroglycerin in it, but when you let it sit, you have to turn it every once in a while to keep it the solution inside the powder to keep them together. And there's a scene where he's just tearing it open so you can see the innard of the compression powder, and he's like, this is very dry, and then he reaches behind the sticks down to the bottom of this wooden case, and when his hands come up, they're covered with nitroglycerin. He's like, oh shit, stuff is ruined, because now the nitroglycerin is exposed, and at that point it becomes volatile. It becomes very what do you call it? It's fragile. So he flicks it off his hands, and when it hits a tree, it bursts. So when nitroglycerin is not in the form of TNT, when it's just a loose chemical, it's volatile, and too much shaking or physical motion will make it explode. And I think this is just kind of a plot point that was excised. They're like, oh, well, we should just order some dynamite and have it expedited down here, but instead...
It's not that easy.
Yeah, because they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, who's the guy? Can you look up and see who the guy was who was running the oil company and who ended up cutting him the check at the end?
Yeah.
Who that guy was. They go back out to this field, or out to the group of where our 4 misanthropes are, and say they're looking for 4 guys to drive a truck up to where this well is. And this is the other thing about the movie that kind of bugged both of us, is you don't realize till later that where the well exploded and where the 4 guys are, they're not the same place.
Yeah, the locations and the moving around was very confusing.
Like, we didn't get it at all. It's like, why do they have to drive 200 miles to what? And they're like, oh,
yeah,
this well
they're
isn't
not
where
next
they
to
are.
each other. Yeah.
So they actually have to transport these cases of unstable dynamite 218 miles away to where this well is. So, did you find the guy?
Yeah, so you're looking for Corlett?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the oil company representative who's looking for... Oh, did we not make it to that part yet? Oh, no, we did.
Yeah, that's
to look for the drivers to move the dynamite to another space.
So they go through everybody in the 4 misanthropes town.
Yes.
And it turns out that only our guys are capable of making and willing to make this journey, because they offer everybody, like, what they say, exceptional wages.
Yes.
And this is 1977. They say, we're going to pay you 8,000 pesos.
And we did a major lookup of this, and...
Yeah, we tried to break down what was... I'm going to let you go with this here, but we tried to figure out what a peso was worth today, and then what it was worth in 1977 dollars. And I'm sorry, but
it was not anything.
It wasn't jack shit. It was like...
It was really sad.
It was a few $100.
Yeah. And then...
I think it came out to a total of
it was less than 1,000.
Yeah, but like if it was just one payout, it was a couple grand. Because he initially offered them 8,000 pesos.
Yeah.
And then Victor, the French guy, was like, no, we want double. And we want it contingent that if somebody dies, their share goes to whoever's alive.
Okay, yeah.
And then, what was it? Oh, and then we want fresh passports.
Yeah, we want legal status.
Right.
In the country.
So they're like, all right. So 16,000 pesos per person.
Yeah, okay.
In 1977 dollars.
Yeah.
And if it all was, that comes out to, was it 64,000 pesos total?
Yep, that's right.
Which in 1977 dollars came out to like, what was it? It was a few grand.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was a few grand.
I don't remember the exact.
Well, we'll get to what was paid out at the end. But this is the thing, is like the payout and what they negotiated. I mean, unless we did the math wrong, it didn't seem to add up.
No, it did not.
But it went from 8,000 to 16,000 and legal status. And we'll get back to that later. But
Bottom line, it still wasn't enough for this job that they were being asked to do.
yeah, they had to drive through the jungle with unstable nitroglycerin on unpaved roads. Oh, and this is the thing, when they get to the trucks, they went through this town. This town is falling apart. And they don't even supply them with trucks. They're like, figure it out. Mm-hmm. And they have these like two junker, and I mean, these trucks are junk. I mean, they are from a junkyard. Like, nothing about them worked. And so these guys have to basically rebuild them.
Yeah, my opinion is my thoughts on that are, if there is anything wrong that you can think of,
that would
this is
happen
not
with
coming
this.
out well. Yes, if there's anything that you can think of that could be wrong with the vehicle, it was these trucks were all in that condition. And I mean, I'm talking like holes in the hood.
Holes in the hood, alternators with like fans broken and belts busted.
There's no way these vehicles could drive, but
No.
they somehow managed to.
Like sway bars that were corroded, bolts that were rusted out, like throughout the entire engine. Like they rebuilt the engine blocks and somehow made these things drive.
And not only did they have to drive these like almost nothing trucks
piece of shit
through the
trucks.
jungle. The jungle included dark and I don't, what do you call it? Like when it's like covered, like there's no
The canopy, the canopy of the jungle didn't allow for light coming through,
and like they had these really poor, only 2 machetes to like chop things down that were in front of them.
oh, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get to that. So they load these casks of dynamite onto these trucks, and they pack the beds with sand to act as like a makeshift shock absorber. Mm-hmm. And then there is the one guy who's a Nazi or a suspected Nazi. Mm-hmm. He gets murdered by. We're giving away a lot here, but he gets murdered by one of the guys, which starts a fight between a couple of them, and they have to, just because of the direness of the situation, they have to just deal with it. This guy killed one of the people who was going to be a driver so he could assume his spot. Mm-hmm. And there is no law down there. It's totally poverty-ridden. It's just the only ray of light into life down there is the money that comes from the oil company, and they don't give a shit if these people kill one another.
No, they don't.
So these 4 guys are now in these 2 piece of shit trucks trying to drive 218 miles through the desert, or through the burning jungle. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they have to argue to get 2 machetes.
Yeah.
Which is good. They're like, we're not giving you shit. We're not even giving you trucks.
Yeah, and they were
we're
like,
not paying you much.
What equipment is there available? And they were like, well, really, there isn't any. And they were like, what about machetes? And the one guy's like, well, okay, here you go. You can have one. And he's like, 1 machete for the 4 of us to get through the jungle with these huge trucks and, what do you call it, unstable dynamite? Like, how are we...
That's bananas. That's absolutely... It's just ridiculous.
No,
it's
what?
like,
no... Yeah.
It's like, do you want this well to work or not?
Mm-hmm. You asked us to do this, but you're not providing anything.
It just, like... It's almost like you think for the case of this... Just to make a movie, just so, like, the audience will be like, what? Just... For the audience to groan at the absurdness of their situation. Mm-hmm. So I think they're given 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
A few of them.
I think 2.
Yeah,
actually.
so they get going, and just the number of, in this, 30-minute span that they're driving? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. How many times did I say, oh, my God, because it was one perilous
If you weren't saying
episode.
it, I was saying it. It was just awful.
It was horrendous.
It was awful. It was so...
And it was a nail biter.
It was such a nail biter. It was so... Ooh.
Like, okay, without giving things away, they had the rain in the jungle and mud, and then
Torrential downpour. I mean, you couldn't see in front of you.
Yeah, and these, it's amazing that the wipers on these trucks worked.
Yeah.
I mean, that they went back and forth. They didn't really do much as far as clearing rain, but they had to drive these trucks across a rickety, and I mean rickety, rope bridge.
Yeah.
During a torrential downpour over a river that had like debris and crap and trees and rocks like rushing through it. Mm-hmm. They encounter a tree that has fallen down over the road, and I'm gonna tell you, this is like, I don't mean like a birch, I mean like a full-size sequoia. Mm-hmm. Like something that's like 10 feet wide. Mm-hmm. What else happened? They encounter a fork in the road where the sign has been knocked down, so they don't know which way to go. Mm-hmm. Cliffs that they have to drive along, where the edge of the cliff is crumbling under the tires. Blowouts. And they've got nitroglycerin in the back of this truck. So it was 30 minutes of, and they start hallucinating. They don't have food. It was like, I understood for that 30-minute stretch. I'm like, I get why that people raved about this movie, because for as old as it was, it's almost 50 years old. Mm-hmm. Like, it had me totally on the edge of my seat for that drive.
Yeah.
What else about this? And again, with all like ends of, like, when you get to the end of the movie, this is the part we don't want to give away. But I'll reference back to what we talked about, the money.
Okay.
So there's one payout, and the payout on the check, at least that scene, he wrote, what's that guy's name? Corrado or Corlett. It was a check that I think it was denoted in dólares or dollars, but written in Spanish. And it was for like $40,000, I guess $40,000, I think. And $40,000, then we did the lookup for what that money equated to today, and it was somewhere on the order of around $250,000, which I don't know if I would have gone through all that bullshit for, well, I mean, it was what, like 2 weeks work or a week's worth of work, but giant payout, at least for him, and there's kind of a trigger ending, which we're not going to tell you, but I didn't expect, like, for the amount that we watched last night, I thought you were going to be pretty disappointed, but I don't know, for what we saw today, I was pretty impressed.
Honestly, I think I was still disappointed, but just because it wasn't my kind of a movie, and there were lots of things about it that I didn't like, but having broken the movie up into 2 parts, the second part was better than the first in that there was a finish to the story. I think
For those of you listening, Louisa doesn't do well with violence or blood.
I do not.
And me, on the other hand, bring it on.
And I can do a little bit, I think, but this was a lot.
Yeah, Friedkin is kind of like that. He kind of digs on, like, I wouldn't say exploitation, but he likes to put a spotlight on human suffering.
Yeah.
And he really did that with this in the conditions of... In fact, you hear stories about this, about oil companies in other countries, and how just the workers they have subsistence conditions, and it's almost like living in the dark ages, because they're given basically nothing. They're not paid a lot, but it's the only means of income they have. And at least I don't think he's alive anymore, but when he was alive, that was a piece of a lot of his movies, is just showing how bleak some people's lives can be. And I'll tell you what, like, I think it's worth it just to see that, because I don't think,
I would agree.
Because when Roy Scheider, because Roy Scheider's in this, he's Jackie. When he first wakes up in this other country, which is it's kind of an unnamed other country. You assume it's somewhere in South America, someplace north of Colombia. You think it must be Central America or Mexico. Just walking around the dorm that he's in, it's just I almost don't have words for it. It was just depressing. It's like
very depressing.
Like you couldn't have skipped off to Maine or to Canada, or like out in the woods of Montana. You went to the.
I thought that was interesting because, there were the 4 stories in the beginning of the movie that sort of more or less brought all these people together in Central America.
Yeah.
And they weren't all. Some of them were already in the United States, and I just thought, like, that was a really big leap. My word, but to go to round all these people up and send them to South America or whatever to do this like awful job in this awful country. They were better off before.
The title of the movie, I guess, this is kind of a thing. When Friedkin was down there, he saw that a lot of the equipment used, that the locals named them. And when these guys were prepping these trucks, there was another name on one of the trucks, but the one, and I assume it was the one that made it, was the 2 guys painted on the side of the door, Sorcerer.
Yeah.
And that's where the name came from. But I think it's pretty obvious at this point, for as old as the movie is, that it wasn't the best choice for a title for the film. I want to jump back to this here. Central theme for the movie, according to Friedkin, is encapsulated in the line, "No one is just anything," spoken by Victor Manzan's wife, which underscores the complexity of individuality in every person. Friedkin also explained the film's title, Sorcerer, by saying the sorcerer is an evil wizard, and in this case, the evil wizard is fate, which is, not saying that's not valid, but for a commercial movie, it's a bit of a weighty reach for. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's a heavy message to carry across in a commercial film.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for explaining.
Evil wizard in this case is fate, emphasizing the idea that humans have little control over their own destinies. Oh, look, Nick's telling me I need orange food coloring. The film explores how humankind is subject not only to the... Oh, you know what else I think that was kind of made a point? Was one of the final scenes with Victor and... what's his name? Manzine, or the guy who was the terrorist. When they
Marquez.
Marquez.
That's not right.
No.
I know who you're talking about.
When he was looking at his watch.
Yeah.
Because everything was going along fine, and then you know what happened.
Yeah.
Kazim.
Okay, yes, sorry. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
Film explores how humankind is subject not only to the vagaries of fate and nature, but also to its own vengeful, venial essence. Film has been linked... Oh, this is another good point. This reminds me of... do you remember when we watched Fitzcarraldo?
Yeah, I thought about this too.
Like, there were so many... But in here...
I thought about that too. I'm so glad that you said that, because I meant to write a note so I wouldn't forget to say that.
the film has been linked to Werner Herzog's Aguirre, The Wrath of God, because there were conquistadors going through the jungle in that. But in Fitzcarraldo, it was kind of a similar movie in that he wanted to move it was kind of at least the way the movie portrayed it, it was an unusual plot. He wanted to put that boat, that steamboat.
Yes.
He wanted to tow it over the side of a mountain to make a mountaintop opera theater out of that boat. I mean, it was a wild. You can see like a commercial real estate developer wanting to do something like that as a theme park, but he had this idea that like I'm gonna tow it up to the top of this
hill
in the middle of the Amazon. I'm gonna tow it up with like manual labor. Mm-hmm. And did they actually make it? I can't remember.
No, I don't think they ever did.
But like it was the same kind of. It was horrendous conditions, and it was in the jungle.
Yeah.
And they had this absurd task to accomplish. So this, in a way, a similar kind of movie. Mm-hmm. And everybody was very kind of destitute. Like he was kind of going broke, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And these guys
running out of money.
Yeah, these guys had not a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But yes, just a rough existence. The film has been linked to Werner Herzog's Aguirre, The Wrath of God, for its ability to create a threatening atmosphere from a lush jungle, and to John Huston's The Treasure of the Sierra Madre for its tale of desperate men bound by fate and circumstance. Critics also noted visual influences: French New Wave, Guillaume Pontecorvo's Battle of Algiers, along with cinema verite sensibilities. Sorcerer was challenging production, with Friedkin calling it the most personal and difficult film he ever made. Initial budget of $2.5 million escalated to between 21 and 22 million. I think they shot in the Dominican Republic. Approximately 50 people had to leave the film for either injury or gangrene.
Ooh.
Wow, I didn't know that. Friedkin himself lost 50 pounds and contracted malaria. The director was known for his demanding style, including firing crew members and reportedly having a difficult working relationship with Roy Scheider. Roy Scheider acknowledged Friedkin's talent and the worth of his efforts. The famous bridge crossing sequence, considered by Friedkin to be the most important and arduous scene, took several months to complete and cost approximately $3 million.
I am not surprised.
The lead actors like Roy Scheider and Amidou. Amidou was the guy who played the terrorist.
Okay.
Performed many of their own dangerous stunts, with Scheider famously stating that filming Sorcerer made Jaws look like a picnic. Upon its release on June 24th in 1977, Sorcerer received generally negative reviews and was a box office bomb. Grossed only $5.9 million domestically and $9 million worldwide, failing to recoup its substantial budget. That's like half of what it cost. Many critics and Friedkin himself attributed its commercial failure to its release at roughly the same time as Star Wars, which became a pop culture phenomenon, dwarfed Sorcerer's performance. Film's confusing title, again, leading to the audience to expect a supernatural film akin to The Exorcist, and the opening 16 minutes containing no English dialogue also contributed to walkouts and audience confusion, prompting movie theaters to display disclaimers. Critics at the time complained that the characters seemed a little too cold. They were not happy people.
They were not. They were not.
The dialogue was minimal, and the special effects often overpowered the protagonists.
I was thinking too, just, I don't know, as a side note, but this movie also reminded me of Romancing the Stone a little bit.
But Romancing the Stone, it was way more upbeat than
Way
this
more
was.
upbeat, and that's why I thought it would be a good spot to jump in with that comment, because there were similarities between Romancing the Stone, this movie, and what was the other one that you mentioned? Oh, the Fitzcarraldo movie.
Fitzcarraldo and Aguirre, The Wrath of God, which we have not seen. But that's Conquistadors in the Jungle, and it's Werner Herzog again, and it's... I'm sure lots of people love that movie, but I'm sure it's miserable.
Yeah, I would think so. But, yeah, no, Romancing the Stone, there were just small similarities, but it was much more happy. And there was also a lady in this movie, whereas in this movie, no offense, there wasn't really a lot of female anything.
There was the lady who washed the floors, who had
That's
kind
true,
of
and there, yeah.
pivotal scene at the very end. But, yeah, this was mainly, like, guys doing guy shit. Well, I mean, really, they're given this ridiculous task with the promise of some kind of fortune to give themselves, you know,
The boost to get out of where they're, yep.
a new life. But just the circumstances that they have to operate in, all they have is their mind to pull themselves out of this horrendous condition in this shithole living. And in some cases it doesn't make a difference. Fate just does what it does.
Yep.
But every time I see one of his movies, I'm just kind of like, was this guy like just really upset?
Yeah.
Just like he was just
Mad at the world.
just mad. I've seen him interviewed about. Did I ever show you that? He, I don't know if he was talking about Pacino, and I think he was being interviewed by Maury Schaefer or 60 Minutes. He was being interviewed by somebody. Friedkin was.
Yeah.
And the interviewer says something like, Al Pacino thinks that you're kind of a hardhead on set, and Friedkin cuts him off and says, I don't give a flying fuck into a rolling donut what Al Pacino thinks.
Wow.
I make good movies. Fuck him. Which is... This guy makes movies the way he wants to make them. I'll give him that. In recent years, Friedkin supervised the digital restoration of the film, which premiered at the 70th Venice International Film Festival in 2013, and has since been released on Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray by Warner Home Video. What else do we got? Anything else about this that... see what they have to say about the legacy. No, this was all the... We covered all that. As far as where it was shot, though... The computer is computing. I think it was mostly Dominican.
Dominican Republic, yeah.
Okay, released in Universal Distributing in the Western U.S. and Paramount Pictures handling the Eastern U.S. Cinema International Corporation was responsible for its international release. This is... Yeah, that's it. We got it all.
Oh, good.
It's if you can get past, if you don't have a problem with older movies. That was the thing. I think a lot of folks who, with the movie industry, you're always wanting to see what's next. And the fun thing about seeing older movies is they're still good.
Yeah.
They just get, there's so much. You always hear people saying that there's so much content out there. This is a great example. This, I know a part of it wasn't for you, but this was I'm not going to fawn over it. I think this was a good movie, and it's been a while since I've seen a movie that was a straight up I'm going to use the words again, nail biter.
Mm-hmm.
And in spades, especially after the first 40 minutes, this movie accomplished that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up for me. It wasn't a perfect 10 or anything, but I understand why it's getting so much play now. After I heard some of those podcasters talk about it, I'm like, I want to see this. Because I don't see a lot of movies now that have this kind of like they build a story to a point where you're like even though the characters are pretty much dirtbags, you're kind of rooting for them to change their situation because just on the little subtle plot points that they gave, like you can make some more money, you can become a citizen of another country, leave your past behind. Not a lot of movies really. It's real tough for a narrative now to step outside the formulaic nature of like Marvel movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's all these big tentpole movies, and the older ones like this, like they weren't meant to be giant blockbusters. They were just meant to fill a particular. They were like middle market movies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would definitely agree with movies are not made today like this movie that we just watched was, and I think it was a very different time for movie making, and it kind of throws you because you just don't see movies like that anymore.
These guys weren't even likable.
No, definitely not likable.
They were just assholes.
No, they were
just
all
scumbags.
Yeah.
Except, like the French guy, he wasn't really a bad guy. He just made a poor business decision.
Yeah, and
then there was some
second.
And it was a little bit of cowardice. He just ran away.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you look at it, like his desire to take on, he would have faced a fine and maybe jail time. But in some ways, he kind of redeemed himself with, all right, I'll take on something that's far more treacherous and dangerous than facing the consequences of fraud in France.
Yep.
I'll put my own life on the line. And, well, I mean, you'll have to see the movie to see how it turned out. But what do you want to review next time? You haven't picked out another one, have you?
No, not for sure.
Fail. I'm just kidding, not fail. But I'm going to have another nap. We're going to talk more about another movie another time. But right now, I don't have shit for you.
Okay.
Unless there was anything that you wanted to cover.
No, I think that was it.
Was there anything that you saw this week that bears repeating?
Anything I saw this week?
Yeah, in the theater.
No, I don't think so. I didn't see anything new. Well, I don't want to talk. I mean,
what did you say?
A couple of weeks ago, I saw the movie Highest to Lowest, which is a remake of a film made by famous Japanese director Kurosawa. Is that right?
Yep.
And that movie is High to Low, I think, or High.
Okay.
And this one is Highest to Lowest, directed by Spike Lee, with Denzel Washington and Jeffrey Wright and A$AP Rocky, which I think is really funny.
It'd be interesting for that. I think I told you this earlier in the week. We should really see Ransom with Mel Gibson.
Oh, that you did mention that movie.
That because I didn't see Highest to Lowest, but I think there are a ton of parallels in that movie.
Okay.
And
I'll make a note of this because we definitely forgot. We couldn't. I remember you.
Gary Sinise, Mel Gibson, Rene Russo,
I remember her.
Liv Schreiber. Yep, and what's the? Oh, I can't remember the girl's name. You know what? Look this up. I Shot Andy Warhol. I can never remember that girl's name. Look that movie up on IMDb, because she's is it Lily? I haven't seen her in a lot recently. But
Yeah, Lily Taylor.
Lily Taylor.
Oh, Lily Taylor was in Mystic Pizza.
Yeah. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She's in that movie.
Okay.
A great. Delroy Lindo is in that movie too.
Which movie?
Ransom.
Okay.
So we're gonna fit that in at some point.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's it. We're gonna skidoo.
Yep.
Toodaloos.
Okay.